It's July 3rd, 2020. I'm Kimberly Jolly from Fat Quarter Shop, and I have a great demo for you today. I wanted to let you know we have some foundation paper piecing pads. And so the very first one that we came out with are the log cabin pads. And so they're available in a 6 and a 12-inch size. And I have been sewing along with these all year to make a big log cabin quilt. So we have those, so I'm going to show you those first. The second ones we came out with are pineapple paper, 6-inch and 12-inch. And for now, we're going to stick with those two sizes. We're not going to be adding extra sizes at this time. We might in the future. And then the brand new ones are economy blocks by Holt. And I'm going to be doing a demo on these today along with another block. And I wanted to let you know on the economy block, the 6-inch, it comes this way. I'm going to show you lots of options on how you can play with this paper. And on this one, you can either have this economy block in the inside, or you can just put one big fabric here. Both options are available on the paper. In addition to that, we have size guides that you can download for free. And they show you how with a 6-inch or 12-inch paper, how many blocks you would need for a wall hanging, crib, lap, twin, queen, king, table runner. So it's a fun way to, if you wanted to know exactly what to make, it works with any of the pads because they're all 6 and 12 inches. So that's super awesome. So the first thing I'm going to show you is my quilt that I'm going to show you today. So I made this on Tuesday. It took me about 3 hours. And what I did here is I alternated economy blocks with a simple star block. So the very first demo I'm going to do is on the economy block. The second demo will be on the star. Oops. My rulers are flying. So I'm going to kind of get all my stuff out and show you. So the very first thing is on the economy block. You can see right here, what I did was I did dark, light, dark. You could do it all scrappy, so where every piece is scrappy. You could do the same thing where it's dark on the outside, but maybe more of a medium on the inside. You could do scrappy on the outside with a dark on the inside. You could do a light on the outside and the inside and a dark on the middle. And then these are the two papers. These are the two blocks that were used for the cover of the pads, and this is made out of Prim. So let me know if y'all have any questions on the economy before I demo. And I'm gonna, as you're asking questions, I'm going to kind of get all my stuff together that I need to make this.
All right. The first question we had was from Teresa. They say, I love the economy block. I wonder if there's a chance that Lori would do a smaller one, say a 4-inch size.
So we're not doing extra sizes right now. We will be adding extra sizes maybe next year. We want to build up our pads in the 6 and 12 inch, and then we will add to the sizes. But right now, it's not going to be soon.
From Dinos and Tutus. So is that like triangle paper on a roll? That's
Yep.
So cool. Perfect for a beginner like me.
Yes, it is. It's just in a pad because it's more of a block. And so we're going to be expanding all of our paper products. And they're all made in the U.S.
Mm-hmm. And then we just had a fun comment from Linda Gillespie. She said, my show, and then she put a bunch of hearts.
Thank you.
I thought that was cute. Thanks, Linda. From Cindy P, why did you name it Economy?
That is the name of the traditional block. And so it's the name of a block that came out in the Kansas City Star newspaper like in the early 1900s. And so Lori came up with this idea. We will be adding more from her. Our next pad, our fourth pad, will be Courthouse Steps. And then Jocelyn and I have a list after that. But obviously we don't want to tell everybody what we're doing so people don't do it before us. Okay, so now we're going to go to the top camera. And in your pad, whether it's the 6-inch or 12-inch or any of the pads, when you open it, these are the instructions, and it will tell you what size you need to cut for light and dark. And of course, like I showed you, you can reverse it. So here's your pad. I've already started pulling from this pad, so you can see that the pad stays together even when you pull the papers off, because this is the pad I was using at home. So the very first thing is I've already cut my fabrics, and this is kind of the look I'm going for. And to make mine, what I did was, we have a Petite Vintage Happy 2 stacker that has fewer, it's not a full layer cake, it's 10-inch squares, and so I bought one of these, and this is what I used, and even this is left over from my table runner. And the reason I made my table runner 2 by 12 is because that fits in my sewing room. So now I'm going to show you how you would do this and how to do it really fast at home. So the very first thing I do is I am going to use this add a quarter ruler. I like the 6-inch size for the 6-inch paper. Now if you were doing 12-inch paper, you would get the longer size. And I'm just going to kind of crease it between the 1 and the 2. So yeah, sorry, it's hard to see. There you go. So between the 1 and the 2, I've got a crease. So when I turn it over, you see the crease. You want your square in the center right side up, and you go about a 1/4 inch past that crease. And then you put a triangle right sides together. So you're doing this totally opposite of what you would think. And you can see your 1/4 inch past. Now on the very first one, I might pin, I might not. Now since I'm on camera, I'll pin so it won't move. At home, I don't even pin. So I turn that over, and we're gonna stitch one all the way down right here between the 1 and the 2, but I'm gonna start about a 1/4 inch before and stitch a 1/4 inch after. And let's see, I usually use a 1.5 stitch length, but some people are saying that that's too small for them at home, and that's fine. You can do longer. So now you can kind of see. Sorry, I'm trying to get the light right. And then what I will do here is fold this back and trim it at a 1/4 inch. Okay, this is not gonna be great. Okay, we're gonna trim at a 1/4 inch. It's not gonna work.
Okay.
So let me just do it over here. And so I trimmed that at a 1/4 inch. And now what I'm going to do, you can either iron at this point, or you can use your seam press roller by Holt. That's what I do because it'll save time and then I don't have to get up. Now I'm going to go to the other side, fold between the 1 and the 3, crease. Then I need to trim this a 1/4 inch away. Hold on, let me move everything. There we go. That should work. And then we're going to trim a 1/4 inch away so you don't have too much waste. And then right sides together your next triangle and add. And you can pin or not pin. Now, like I said, I'm on camera, so I'll pin. But at home, I don't ever pin. You can also use a glue stick. That just takes too much time for me. Let's see. And so that is actually how fast I sew at home. And then I just keep adding. And if you are ironing this at this point, you would want to make sure you have your steam off so it doesn't shrink your paper. So let me know if you have questions before I keep going.
Yeah. Real quick, I have seen a few people saying that they're having trouble seeing the video because of the chat. If you're on YouTube and you just tap on your phone and go to the top right, there's like a little chat bubble there. If you click it, the chat goes away, so you'll be able to see it. And from a question from Tracy Eckhart, they're asking, you don't sew directly on the fabric?
No, you sew on the other side.
Okay.
So you're sewing on the line with the paper. You're sewing on where the numbers are, and then the fabric's on the other side, right side up.
From Buzzy B Cottage, what is the size inside the square in the economy block? I think that's center, yeah. You got it.
3.
3 inches square.
And it will tell you on the instructions what size to use. Now on this is layer cake friendly. So if you wanted to do the 6-inch size, it's layer cake friendly. Or if you were going to do something like this, where you use all different fabrics, it's charm pack friendly. It's just if you wanted it to be matchy like this, you would need a layer cake. So it's either charm pack or layer cake friendly, depending on how you want to use your fabrics. And I love this one.
That was really cute.
I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I'm going to do something with it.
All right. And then a few people are asking how many sheets come in the pads.
42, I believe. Let me see. 42.
Okay. And Bobby Millican says, so 1 packet equals a whole quilt?
So you would download that paper that I have over here, and it will tell you how many you need. So like, for example, for a wall hanging, you would only need 4. For a lap, you would need 4 by 6, which is 24. 6 by 6 is large. So you would download this, and then it tells you how many squares you need, and then you would decide from that. And so that's why we did that, and that works with any of them. So we need to do one that's the economy. So Jocelyn will draw up the economy one. Ashley, can you email her to do that? But they're all the same. It's all the same measurement.
Okay. And then Hudson Johnson was asking, why are you trimming before you sew?
That's how you do foundation paper piecing. And then, okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this over. And sorry, the light is really bright there. But what I do is I'm going to pull back, so you can't really see the lines. So I pull this back, and there's a line right here between the 4 and the 5. And then there's another one over here. We can do this one at the same time. And I just pull that back. Even if the paper tears, it's fine. Can you see that? There you go. So you can kind of see. It's really shiny, so I don't know if it's too bright. Lily's going to try to help me fix it. Oh, no. There.
Okay.
Okay. So now we're going to go back over here, and I've already creased the line. So you put the add a quarter, and the reason I like the add a quarter is it has a bump, and it bumps up to where you need the 1/4 inch, and so you don't have to think about your 1/4 inch. And so you have very little waste. And then you do the same thing on the other side, and that's what's fun about this block is on the log cabin and the pineapple, you have to start and stop over and over, and this one you can do two sides at once. So now I'm just going to add this. You can actually do these at the same time if you want. And then I'm going to turn it over. And when I sew really fast, and I'm just showing you because this is what I do at home. You obviously don't have to do that. And again, when you're stitching, you start before and after your intersection about a 1/4 inch. And so then I'm just going to use my seam press. And anytime you're working with a foundation pad or triangles on a roll or any kind of paper, having a bed It's hard to see, but this has a bed of a machine. It will keep it so that everything stays flat. So from here, I'm gonna go and just pick 2 corners. It doesn't matter which one, 2 opposite corners. Find the line and trim. Sorry, we only have so much camera space. And the bed's kind of getting in the way, but I wanted the bed so it stay flat. So again, you're just gonna trim. And then we will add the last 2, or the first 2, I guess. Put that one in, and remember, right sides together. And on all of our other papers, the pineapple and the log cabin, we do have videos on how to do those that you can watch. And then this one we will do another video that's not a live stream. And when you're working with any kind of paper product, whether it's triangles on a roll or this paper, whatever stitch you normally use, you want to go a tiny bit smaller so when you pull the paper off, it does not rip the stitches. So if you usually stitch at a 2, you could do a 1.5. I usually stitch at a 1.5, so then I move it to like a 1.25. And some people have said that that's just way too small for them, and that's okay. You do whatever you want to do. Okay, so now I've got those. Now I just need to do these last 2. I'm gonna just do it here. Sorry guys. We try to do this perfect and it's hard. Okay, so here I'm just gonna press back over here. You just kind of pull your stitches back. And the reason I like to have this extra stitches right here is so that my stitches don't unravel under here. So that's just something that I like to do. So there you go, you've pulled it back on those lines, and I will use my add a quarter. I love this add a quarter thing. It saves so much time. The very first time I didn't have one when I was doing log cabin, and I was like, oh no, this takes too long. And I actually had it, I had just lost it, which is typical. And by the way, I have not found my fabric. I don't know what in the world I did with it.
Oh no.
I'm like, okay. Okay, so then I can pin those, and I'm just gonna do the last 2 real quick. And then on the last 2, you wanna stitch off the paper. Not off the paper, but off that, a 1/4 inch away from that line so that you have your seam off the paper. Does that make sense? Sorry, I'm trying to show it. I'll show it when I'm done, and then you'll see. Okay, so here I'm probably going to really iron real quick, just so that I have it nice and flat before I trim it. And it's not plugged in. Oops. Or it's not on. Okay, so that's fine. There we go. We're about flat. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this off the table so that I can really show you what I'm doing. Okay, so now you would do the same exact method if you did the 12-inch, the same exact type of technique. So if you look on the back, you can see that there's lines where it says trim on this line, do not trim on this line. And we have that just so that we make it accurate. Now what I've done is, the easiest thing for me to do is take a Creative Grid 6.5-inch ruler. You could either trim around, or you can do what I do, and I'm gonna I just put my ruler right on the edge of those lines. So, and then I just trim all 4 sides at one time. I'm kind of far away from the table, so I'm gonna So there it is. It's perfect. Now I will take my paper off right after that. And when you stitch with a really low stitch, it'll come right off. If you want to crease it first, that helps. So example there, I didn't crease, but here if I crease it, it's going to come off faster. So that's up to you if you, this is a great activity for children. So you could just do this and then have your kids take the paper off, and it just comes off really easy. So let me show you, let me get all the paper off and then show you again one thing. And I usually go from the outside in because then that center square will just rip right off. And then if there's little pieces, usually at home, I don't have all these little pieces. But when I'm on camera, of course I do. Okay, so there's this. So again, there's different ways you can do it. Let me iron this. So I'm going to just kind of show just different things that I did at home. And I did the whole table runner, all the stars, and these blocks. I think it was less than 4 hours.
Oh, wow.
So these are just different options of what you could do. And then I'm going to show you if you wanted to sew 2 of these together. For example, if you didn't want to do my star option. So this is my star option. And the reason, I don't know, Lori told me it looked cute, so I did it. It's all Lori's idea. So I just did economy, star, economy. But if you wanted to do all economy, the best way to do that, to join them together, is you're going to have 2 points that meet right here. So sometimes you don't want to just put those together and sew, or they might not match. So what I do is I put my pin in the very point of the intersection, and then the very point, oops, I just poked myself, and the very point of this one, and then you just kind of keep your pin up, just keep it there, and then I usually pin once on each side, and then I would pin at this intersection, and then I would just stitch. And by having those pins there, when you stitch and you open, it should line up. You will have a lot of bulk because with foundation paper piecing, you have to press all to the outside because of the way the paper works. So you're going to have a big bulk here, which is okay, but that pinning will help you. So yay! So I showed the economy block. Can we go to the front camera? Yeah. And then I'm happy to answer any questions, but I did want to show you the star block also. So, but I'm happy to answer any questions on the economy block before I show you the star block.
Yes, we have a lot of questions about the economy block. Okay, give me one sec. From Rebecca White, is the paper easy to remove?
Yes, and so when we developed this paper, we did a lot of testing, and so it's a thinner paper. It's not as thick as regular paper, or it would be hard to remove. So it's specialty paper made specifically for this product.
From Peggy Rodenberg, is this block 6 inches finished or unfinished?
6.5 unfinished, 6 inches finished, and then the 12 would be 12.5 unfinished, 12-inch finished. And you could mix, like you could do log cabin with pineapple with economy. And when we have all of these papers released, like in a year or two, when we have a bunch, we'll do a big sampler quilt.
From Pokirella, so you sew right on the dotted line?
Okay, so you sew right on the line. It's not dotted. Can you go to the... Okay, so you sew right on the line. It's not dotted at all. And you just sew directly on the line. You don't worry about a 1/4 inch seam, because on the outside we account for that and we tell you do not trim here, but do trim here. And that's why those words are there, and they're on all 4 sides to try to help you not forget. So it's solid lines on this paper.
Okay. From Barb Sutterdahl, what size needle do you prefer?
So, okay, that's a great question. I'm so happy you asked. When I'm sewing with foundation paper pads, I like to use a size 90 needle top stitch because it is thicker and it's going to pierce that paper more and easier to pull off. If not, just use a regular one. But after you have done a full, like if you do a whole pad, you want to change your needle because stitching on the paper will dull it faster than if you were just stitching with fabric. So you would need to change your needle a little bit more frequently.
Peyton Jolly says, "That's my mom."
Hi, Peyton!
Hello. Aww.
Aw, that's my little baby. That's Dinosaur. Look, Dinosaur, Dinosaur, roar, roar. He knows what that means.
Oh.
He knows what that means. He loves dinosaurs.
Oh my gosh. Question from Lisa McKay. So the crease is your sewing line?
Yes, it is your sewing line.
From Crowboo, no back tacking at the beginning and end?
So I don't. What I do instead is I start a 1/4 inch away from the intersection and sew a 1/4 inch after. You could do the back stitch and forward stitch if you wanted to. I think that takes too much time, so I just stitch a little bit before and a little bit after. And then when I go to the next step, I just have to pull the paper a little bit more, and that's okay. But if you want to do it that way, you can.
Also, lots of people are saying your top is gorgeous.
Oh, thanks. I have it on because we have to refilm a video because I totally messed something up. And so it's really funny. So when we're doing the jelly snowflake, which I'm going to show you, or the jolly snowflake, whatever, after, we, I don't know, we just didn't have it together. And that means me, I didn't have it together. So, we had a lot of mistakes, so we had to redo it. And so I had worn this in all the videos, and so I had to go and make sure that I picked this up from the cleaners before. So that's the only reason I'm wearing it.
Yeah.
But it's fun. I mean, it's okay to make mistakes. Like, it's okay to be like, you know what? I was just having a bad week. Everybody has a bad week. Everyone has a good week. And sometimes when you just start off bad, it just becomes this whole like catastrophe, and that's what that was, and that's okay. We're gonna fix it today.
Yes, magic of editing.
And thank you to the customer who saw it on the live stream and emailed and said, I think that block is wrong, because we had filmed the whole thing and nobody had noticed.
Yep, no, not one.
And we would have released that and I would have got slammed and I would have probably cried in my bed reading that.
Okay, so we have a question from Annette Hillison. On other paper piecing, you don't have to cut the shape out ahead of time. Can you do that with this one? Where you, since you had cut out like the triangles on other paper piecing, sometimes you just use like a random scrap.
Oh, you can. So what I did, I will tell you on this one, I had already made all the rest. And so I didn't have full squares that I could cut on the diagonal. So I actually just threw scraps on this outside edge just to use what I had left over. So you can definitely do that. The cutting in all of the pads is just a like a guide to get you going, but you can do whatever you want. And that's the way that I was able to use all of, basically I used everything in this except like 1 or 2 squares. And you could, but the whole point of this is you can use anything that you have in your house. I just grabbed one of these because I thought it would match my sewing room. And so it would look really good also. This is 6 by 2, but I think this would look really good too, 8 by 2. But my table is 6 by 2. So you have enough fabric in this to do 8 by 2, but my little thread cabinet, this fits almost perfectly.
From Sia Joy, good morning from Connecticut. Quick question, can you use your lovely packing paper for paper piecing? I hate to throw it away, it's so nice.
No, that is way too thick. So that packing paper is it's from recycled paper, and it is very thick. And anytime you do any kind of paper piecing that's foundation paper piecing, you want to use thin paper. So like a typewriter paper, like if you went to Office Depot or something, you would want the typewriter paper because it's thinner. I would use that maybe as stuffing for your Christmas gifts instead.
Okay. From Rhonda W, will you still carry the cupcake and cake recipe papers?
Yes, yes. I love those. And so the cupcake and the cake mix, those are from Moda Fabrics. We have lots of videos on how to use those with Carrie Nelson, who works at Moda, and those are to use either layer cakes or charm packs, and they do a different assortment of blocks. So they're totally different because you can make different things with them. This is just one block. So it's ours is more of a block concept, where theirs is more of a quilt concept.
Okay. From Pat Schmidt, how big would the quilt be if you've used one package of the 6-inch block papers?
Okay, hold on. So 6-inch, the closest we could get is, if you did the biggest, okay, so if you did a crib, that would be 6 blocks by 6 blocks. It would use 36 squares, so you would have some left over, and that would give you a 36.5-inch square. And so that's why this is great, because it will show you exactly, so you don't have to think.
From Hudson Johnson, they say, I am on my son's Facebook. The reason for doing it with the paper is because it's more precise and easier. Sorry, I've never seen this before.
Yes, so foundation paper piecing is just so you can have more accuracy and you can go faster. You can see how fast I sewed on my machine. When you're working with an economy block, I will tell you, and I've always said this, my least favorite block is a square and a square. And I have some square and a square blocks to do at home, and I keep putting them off because I just feel like I can never get the points right on the edge, because it all becomes bias out here. So foundation paper is just an option. Now you could do it the traditional way. This is just a way for us to do things a little bit faster. It uses scraps. So yeah, it's just, but I do struggle with any kind of block that has corner squares on the outside. And so this is just an idea that Lori had to do hers. And remember, on this 12-inch, on the 12-inch here, you can either do the center this way, or, sorry, this whole thing could be one fabric. So on the back, sorry, we have lights. So you can see there's darker lines here. And those darker lines are so if you just wanted to put one big fabric and fussy cut it so that it would be just like this with one fabric. So this has 2 options.
Okay, question from Nikki Young Ledbetter. Is EPP different from foundation piecing?
Totally different. So English paper piecing is something that we have lots of videos on by Tula Pink and Jen Kingwell on our channel. And you can check those out, and we will be doing some English paper piecing in a stitchery sampler sew along in the fall. And so that will be fun, but this is foundation paper piecing, and I learned how to do it from Simply Quilt's TV show like 20 years ago from Alex Anderson.
That's cool. Okay. From Tammy Eckelbarger. Yesterday I was watching Kimberly, and she commented she had a fresh blade in her rotary cutter, but she called it something else. What kind of blade does she use?
Okay, so I use an endurance blade. Let me see. We have them right here. So I use this endurance blade, and it says it cuts twice as long. I actually, when this product, I'm going to be totally honest, when this product came out, I thought, oh, they're just trying to get more money because it's really expensive. So I didn't buy one because I thought, no, I don't need that. And then I got one in my Sew Sampler box, and I used it, and it is like totally different. It is like a different product. So it just, you can cut longer with it. And I will use my rotary blades because they're expensive until they completely, I either go over, nick it on a ruler, or mess it up to where I can't use it. So I am really bad about changing my rotary blade, and the reason why is they're really expensive. And one question I do get a lot is people say there's those rotary blade sharpeners, and people have asked me, and I just first of all, I think I would hurt myself, or I know I would hurt myself with one of those, but the reviews that I have seen from people doing it are not great. So that's also an option. I'm hoping that one day they make one that's great so that I can save money. Because the endurance blades they're just, I don't know if it's like sharper or thinner, or it just cuts faster. More layers also.
From Teresa, what size is the center square of the 12-inch block?
So the brown is 3 inches, the brown is 3 inches, just like the 6-inch paper, because that's basically the 6-inch paper inside the 12-inch paper.
Magic.
Yes, and then the green would be 6, which would be 6.5. And of course, when we tell you what to cut, we give you a little bit bigger, because when you're doing foundation paper piecing, if you did the exact same size, when you put it on your machine, it might shift too much and then you become short. So there is some like 1/4-inch waste, and that's just because if you didn't do that, you would get frustrated with the paper.
From R. Ellenman, does cutting the paper dull the rotary blades faster?
Yes.
Yes. But for these, you only cut at the end of the block, right?
Yeah, you only cut at the end. And I would kind of do, like what I did when I made this at home, is I did all of my foundation paper and then I did all of my stars at one time. But I haven't changed my blade, even though after I made this, I still have the same blade on.
From Charlotte Walker, have you ever used a light box in FPP? And are there any real benefits to this?
Yeah, it would definitely help because you could see that line through. I don't own a light box, and I think it'd be great. I just don't want to spend the money on it.
Yeah, I know some people just hold it up to the light too.
Yeah.
And that works fine. We've got several people asking when we are going to have Lori Holt as a guest.
Well, right now we can't because we can't go anywhere. And she can't come here. She was going to come in about 2 weeks, but that all got canceled. So she will be a guest when life goes back to normal.
Yeah, but if you need a Lori Holt fix, she does have a YouTube channel now.
Yes, she has a YouTube channel. It's called Lori Holt, and there's something. Oh yeah, so she has lots of videos. She comes out with videos every Friday, and I will show you next week on the floss tube what she made on the previous one, but she's filming it today, so I can't show you yet.
Oh, so exciting. But yes, I love her videos.
And she shows you like different things, like how to paint or how to do a banner. It's not just quilting, it's really crafting. And so it's a way to also be able to utilize, Lori's motto is to use it all up. So like if you have leftovers, you can make a banner, you can, I mean, all kinds of things. And different things that you haven't seen on other channels, which is great because she's got her own original content.
Yeah, it's like the Lori Holt variety show. I love it.
Variety show.
Yeah. It's a variety of crafts.
Oh, I
know?
see. I was like, I didn't understand.
Oh, sorry. She does it all. Okay.
I thought you meant like, I thought variety meant something in like drama or something. I thought it meant something. Never mind.
Oh, no. A variety show is usually like where they just do a variety of different skits and comedy and different things.
Okay, yeah, that's what, I get it now.
Okay, so funny comments from Gwen Smith. I need to hire some kids to tear the papers. Maureen Malarkey also said for children or retired husbands, the paper tearing part.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so I bargain, Peyton's listening, but I bargain with them to they either walk the dog, tear the paper, vacuum the house, do the dishes, and then they get like $1 or $2 on their iPad. Because right now, honestly, there's not much to do. We are going to try, my daughter's going to first try diamond painting today to see if, if she likes it. She's the oldest one, and then if she likes it, maybe the boys can try it, and if they like it, they can try it. I'm not sure how it's going to go. I'm a little bit nervous about that. But, I mean, they're bored. They got nothing to do.
Oh. From Melissa Reynolds, the economy blocks look like a wonderful way to use up some of my massive stash. Would you kindly provide any recommendations on how to choose fabrics that will create a cohesive look?
So I would say if the fabrics all play well together, you could just do scrappy because that's the easiest. You don't have to think. You just throw it together and you could do all dark or all medium or all light. I would say if you're doing something like this, you just want to make sure there's enough contrast. If it's scrappy, I think it can be whatever. But if you want contrast, I would just make sure your fabrics between the two contrast. Like for example, this one, like you could put all different. So that's why I did a bunch of different blocks just so you could see. And I would kind of just start with one and see, do you like it? Do you like the way it looks? And then just keep going. Because I think this would be really cute if it was all scrappy on the outside. Also, I mean, I liked this one too. did a bunch of different things on Tuesday just to kind of prepare for live stream and had fun doing it.
From Sewing Becca, how are you planning to finish your table runner? Borders or just bind?
Okay, so on this one, this fits perfectly on my table runner. It's about a 1/2 inch too long and about 1 inch too short on the width. So on this, I am going to mail this to Gina Tell today. We've already picked the pantograph. Actually, Gina, I'm not going to mail it today because I forgot the backing. Yeah, I forgot the backing. Oh, no. And the binding. But yeah, I'm just gonna send it to her. But I was thinking about adding borders. To me, it all depends on your table and what table you're gonna put it on. So that's kind of what I did. Is at first I thought I was gonna have borders, but then when I put it on the table, it looked fine. So that's kind of what I did. And I even thought about, because you have enough to make 8 instead of 6. So I thought, well, let me put it on there, see if I like it, and then if it looked funny, I could add the 8 and it could hang off. So it's kind of one of those things where just do it as you go and just be flexible enough to change it if you don't like it.
Okay. From Sandy Shorter, she says, you said you needed to redo the other video. Some of us have started that block and are not concerned.
No, it's the last video.
Yeah,
no.
You guys haven't seen it yet.
No,
it's
sorry.
still part of the mystery.
I shouldn't even talked about it, but yeah, no, it's a future video.
Yeah, no, so everything we've released is like totally accurate.
Yeah, and so what we do is we film everything kind of all at once. So it's really hard for me to do more than 2 or 3 videos a day because I think it's kind of like one of those, your brain gets overwhelmed and you start getting it's like a short circuit. It's like your computer just starts frying. So we do like 2 a day. And so we kind of filmed them 2.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay, and we do have lots of super chats that came in during the demonstration and lots of new members, so I'm going to go down the list here.
Okay, and then as you're doing that, I am going to kind of get ready for the next set.
Perfect. All right, so we have a new member, Denise Slater. Welcome, Denise. Yay. There was a members only live stream we did earlier this week on Wednesday. That's available for anyone new and old if you join our membership to watch. New member, Greg Borden-Neary. Welcome, Greg.
Thank you.
All right, and then we had a couple super chats here. First one was from Pi Nigrin for 22 NOK.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you, Pi. And they
y'all are like all NOK. Y'all always donate.
Yeah, I think it's always Pi too. So thank you for your generosity. And they put a pair that's
dancing.
Okay. I'm just seeing the still, but it looks like it's twerking a little bit, but it says cool. I don't think it's actually twerking though. Another one from Pi for 22 NOK, and they say Courthouse Step is my favorite block. Yay.
Yeah, I'm excited about that paper, and it's actually already at the proofer, so it won't take too much longer.
Mm-hmm. And then we had a super chat from April Lynch for $4.99, and they say, Kimberly, your videos are the best. Thank you so much for them. And they put 2 smiley faces.
Thank you.
Thanks, April. Another one from Pi here for 55 NOK, and Pi says, how many patterns on paper do you have now? I'd like to try different blocks.
3. So we have the log cabin,
Mm-hmm.
pineapple, and economy,
Mm-hmm.
and we have all of those in 6 and 12. So that would be 3 styles, 2 sizes each, 6 total. We'll be adding the courthouse steps, and then we have some other ones after that we will be adding.
Mm-hmm. All right, and $20 super chat from Barbara Setterdahl. And I just gave the $20. Thank you. And then we had a new YouTube member, Gabriel Fuentes. Welcome, Gabriel.
Oh, thank you.
And then we had a very generous super chat from Crafts for Others for $99.99.
Oh my goodness.
And they say, being a young widow, your videos gave me something to look forward to each week. Thanks so much. Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Yeah, for your loss. I'm sorry about that. And thank you so much for the ginormous super chat. That's super generous. I can't even thank you enough. From Kathy Brock, super chat for $14.99. Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you.
All right, and then quick word from Lori here. Lori Holt said that she chose the economy block because normally it's a hard block to sew accurately because of all the bias. But paper piecing this block is perfect every time.
And it's really hard when you're doing the economy block to get these little points on the outside accurate. Mine are never accurate, so it's going to give you really nice results.
Okay. Sweet comment from Caroline Alexander. Kimberly was born to do demonstrations. She could be a hand model.
That's funny. Thanks.
And then question from Karen Sharp. For the white background, do you use Yardage?
Yes. So on that, I probably used like half a yard. I just used it from my stash. And this is the Vintage Happy collection, so I even have this left over. So yeah, I just pulled from my stash. So, okay, so we're going to go to the top camera. I'm going to try not to confuse you here. I'm going to try. Okay, so on the stars, this is a simple star. Lori gave me this idea, and you can either do the star like this, or you could do a star like this where it's all one color. And so when you're using your layer cake, you can either use your layer cake to make both, or one layer cake would be for the outside here and the inside, and vice versa. So there's two different ways to make it. Well, there's three different ways you can make it, but this is just fabric options. So you can make your whole thing with everything just like this. You can go to the Farm Girl Vintage book. This is the simple star page. And you could piece the block just like this. So most of you already have the Farm Girl Vintage book, and you could piece just like this with your layer cake. I'm gonna do mine slightly different because I just wanna show you what I do at home. So the center square is 3.5 inches, and these outer squares are 1.5 inches. No, they're not, they're 2 inches. So these are 2 inches and 3.5 inches. So that all stays the same. I'm going to put these aside, and I am going to show you how I do flying geese. And I have my little cheat book. This is my favorite little book. It has all the fabric we buy, everything in it. But I'm going to show you, I'm not going to do the whole block, but I am going to show you how I do flying geese. So Eleanor Burns, I met her, I think it was 19 years ago at Paducah show. And she did a demo on this ruler. And I thought it was great, and ever since then I've been doing the flying geese this way. So she has a small flying geese ruler that makes 3 by 6 and 1.5 by 3, and then she has a large flying geese that makes different sizes. So what you do is you cut your fabric according to the pattern, and we're making the smaller one, the 1.5 by 3. And inside she has instructions on what you cut. So you don't want to throw this paper away. You always want to keep this paper with your ruler. So I've already cut according to that. So what I will do is put the fabrics, right sides together. And then there's this brand new Creative Grids ruler. Do you know what it's called? I don't even know what it's called. Seam Guide or something. We put a link in it below.
Yes. Ashley, if you could help us out here.
Ashley, please help me out with the name. So I love this thing. And the reason why is it grips so it doesn't move, and I mark both sides. There's a short one and a long one. This one is CGRSMN9. And I love this. I have both of them. So what I'm going to do is put this on my sewing machine, and we're just going to sew directly on that line. And you can just sew really fast. And then you cut in between, and I just use this little ruler to cut. You probably shouldn't, it's kind of dangerous, but I do. And I'm gonna press towards the yellow real quick. I can just do it with my seam presser. Ooh. This thing is awesome. It's giving my little, I have a glass, no, it's not glass, it's like plexiglass on my table. It's giving it a run for its money. Ooh. So you do that, you press, whichever, I like to press toward the dark. This point, whatever this is, if this is light or dark, so whatever this print is going to be. And then you put these together, and when you put these together, you put them right sides together with the fabrics on the opposite side, and you're gonna have this weird thing going on in the center. It's not gonna match like this. Like it's not supposed to be like this. It's supposed to be just like this. And it feels weird, and it doesn't even have to be on there exact. I mean, it's not like exact.
And Ashley's letting us know it's the Creative Grids 9-inch seam guide.
Thank you. And there's a bigger one too, a longer one. But yes, thank you, because I forgot. But this is brand new. It came out about a month ago, and it is crazy. I mean, I've like used it a million times.
And Lori says that you're scaring her using that skinny ruler to cut Kimberly.
I know. You shouldn't, but I do, and I have been. So. Okay, so here we go. So here, I'm gonna sew this. And then I am going to use the correct ruler. Okay, now, in here you have two flying geese, one on each side. What I do is in between the seams, so there's a seam here, and there's a seam here, I'm gonna clip right in the center between that seam, and I'm gonna show you why. If you were pressing open, you would not have to do that. And I'm gonna show you why. So the first thing I do is I'm gonna set my seam so that the Frixion Pen lines will go away. And so I wanna press towards the yellow. So on one side, I'm gonna press towards the yellow, turn it over, and then this one's gonna go the other way. And when we trim, that's gonna go away. And I'm gonna show you that. So you do both the same way. You put your ruler right on there, and that's why I didn't have to be so accurate when I was sewing, because I'm gonna trim around. So I will trim 3 sides, making sure when you trim here, you don't go too far into this flying geese. Actually, I didn't get that very good. Let's see. It's hard to cut when I'm so far away from the table, sorry. You're gonna have to see my hair for a little bit. So you cut 3 sides and then flip it, and then you use this line, and I use this on all flying geese. This is how I make all my flying geese. So when I get a pattern, whether it's an Itsoma pattern, any kind of pattern, any manufacturer, I just convert it and figure it out. After years and years of doing it, and then I do mine this way, and from 2 squares you get 4 flying geese. So from here you would get 4. You would get 2 here and 2 here from 2 pieces of fabric. So you waste way less fabric, and it's always super accurate. You would just need to look on the website what sizes are available in the small and the large. And then from there, you would just piece it into your block like normal. I don't need to show you all that. But you would just piece it in like normal. And so here it is. Let's see.
That was pretty magical to watch.
Yeah, so it's really fast. That's how I got it all done in one day. So when I tell you guys that I sew at home and I do, can you go to the front?
Oh yeah.
Sorry. So when I tell you guys when I'm sewing at home, I'll do anything I can to save time. And so this is one of the things that I do to save time is this ruler. And yeah. Love this ruler. So again, here is my table runner. Lori gave me the idea. It's so cute. And on the back, I will show you what I'm going to put on the back. I'll open this one and show you, because I forgot to bring it. It's in my shower. It's in my shower. It's in my shower still. What do you call that? Starching, drying from like Tuesday, so it's definitely dry by now.
So it's not just hanging out in the shower, but
it's just hanging out in the shower. Hold on, I gotta get this off. Hold on. There. This is the one on the very bottom. That's what I'm using for the back. Ooh. And because I think it'll be fun if this, and I'm not even going to put a label in it, because I just want it to be flat just like this, and then that way I can turn it over and I will have a reversible table runner. Yep. And so I'm not even putting a label in it because I want to be able to use it both ways.
Okay.
And I always put a label in everything, but sometimes you have to improvise. Yeah. And this is going to go in my sewing room, so I'm not going to give it away, so it doesn't have to have a label.
Yeah. All right. About the question about the economy block from Susan McCallan. When will you do the tutorial on this, or will Lori do one on her channel?
So I was going to film one today. It will be available like in a week or two. We still have to edit it. Takes a long time to edit. So, and that's going to be a long video. So I would say 2 weeks for sure, maybe 1 week.
Okay. From Annette Hillison, do you starch these before you make paper foundations?
I did. Yes. I always starch.
And then Gina Tell from Thread Graffiti says, I'll be ready when you are. Thanks.
Oh my gosh. Text me tonight to not forget. I probably won't because, yesterday I was thinking all day, I need to go get that backing fabric. I need to go get that backing fabric. I need to go get that. Because I was cross-stitching all day. Because on Tuesday I did the quilt and I was like, I need to go get the backing fabric. I need to go get the binding. And I never did.
She also says, hope you'll have a great holiday weekend. Stay safe.
Thank you. Yeah, we're not going to do anything. We're just going to stay home. There's no fireworks in Austin. Yeah. Sometimes they do them. There's a mall right by us, and the mall does them. And we usually watch those from our backyard. So we're not sure if they're going to do them, but if they do, we'll walk outside and watch them. But we're not going anywhere. We're not doing anything. We're just staying home.
Yeah. Teresa also had a very sweet comment for Ashley. She said Ashley is a great behind-the-scenes hero. Ashley is the behind-the-scenes hero.
And she peeked her head in a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. Okay, and then from Virginia Bouvier, who very kindly told me how to pronounce her name by putting a little ghost.
It's like John F. Kennedy's wife.
Bouvier? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It's from Virginia. She says, hi, Kimberly. Can you please tell me what tea drink you order when you go to Starbucks? I would like to try it. Thank you.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. Black tea, no sugar, extra ice, no water. Yeah. And I'm super picky about my ice. And so if they don't give me enough ice, I won't finish it as fast. I will finish it, but not as fast. So like last night, I went to Starbucks at like 8:15 because that's the latest you can order on the mobile. And I was like, I need tea. So Emma and I went to Starbucks. But there's one that's really close to the house and there's one that's like 15 minutes. And I've been going to the one that's 15 minutes away because they do my tea right. The one closer to my house doesn't. And I don't want to be that like Karen that's like, it's just tea. Like, I don't need to complain about the ice. So, but I just feel like and then the one right by work, there's two by work. One does it right and one doesn't. So I drive whatever way they're going to make my tea right. And one thing that's pretty interesting that I learned recently, I told Lily about this. We met with a dietitian and about different like eating plans and stuff for our family. And I kept telling the lady, because it was like all of us, and I was talking about how, like certain things, and she was like looking at me, and so she handed all of us these little slips. They're like little litmus papers that you would get in science class in like 3rd grade, and she was like, taste it. And I was like, oh my God, I tasted it, and I was like, that's disgusting. And Kevin was looking at me like, it tastes like water. And like the other kids, it tastes like water. So for me, and she said, okay, that's what's wrong. You are a super taster. So she was like, do you like green tea? And I said, no, I hate it. She goes, yeah, that's why. And so she was explaining to me why certain foods and why I'm so picky. And she was like, can you tell the difference in water? And I said, yeah, that's why I don't drink water. And I only drink one brand of water because some of it tastes funny. And then she was like, well, that's why. And so I told Kevin, I was like, haha, that's why. Now I have an excuse because I'm super picky about like, not so much food, but definitely liquids. And so then it was really fun because at night I was like looking up what super taster is and all that. But it's like, I wish I knew that 30 years ago because I am so picky, and Kevin has made fun of me all these years, and now he cannot make fun of me anymore because the lady was like, well, she explained a lot of things about how green tea and broccoli and asparagus, they have certain enzymes, and if you're a super taster, it tastes much more strong to you than other people. And if you're not a super taster, all water tastes the same. But if you're a super taster, different things taste different, and certain things you're just like, you have an adverse, because it's more bitter to you than if you're not a super taster. Sorry.
No, you're good. Gabriel had the same comment I had. He says, what about your 2 packets of honey?
Oh, yeah, stopped. Because I'm getting chubby. No, I stopped the honey. I stopped the honey.
Oh, the honey.
Yeah.
Okay. Lauren Milner was asking, what iron are you using?
This is an Aliso iTouch. We just are about to get another shipment of these in. And it pops up. And I use this at home also. I use the yellow one at home. I mean, I think they're all the same, but it pops up. And so I don't have to, you don't ever want to lift this. If you own this, I'll give you a tip. Don't ever put it on its back. Because once you do it, it almost ruins the iron. I don't know what it is about it. So I get really mad when people come to my house and they think the iron's there and they touch it. I'm like, don't touch my iron.
Yeah.
But it pops up and down, and it will save your wrist if you're sewing, like, for example, 8 hours. It will save your wrist the rotation, which can cause carpal tunnel. And that's why I like it, because it stays less movement.
Also from Lauren Milner, if I use a 12-inch foundation paper, would I order a layer cake or a petite layer cake?
Oh, let me see.
I think it depends on how many you want to make.
You would definitely want you would want a full layer cake.
Oh, okay.
And all the pieces are layer cake friendly, and this one they're not charm pack friendly. But definitely a full layer cake, because they're going to be bigger pieces. And so with the 6-inch, I'm able to, from each layer cake, make 2 blocks. From this one, you'd only be able to make 1. And you might have to, if you wanted your outside points to be the same, you would probably have to buy 2 matching layer cakes. Or it would need to be scrappy, just because the pieces are much bigger on the outside.
From Katrina E, could you do a video on how to convert patterns to use triangles on a roll and other special products?
So we do have a triangles on a roll conversion chart. And so Ashley can link it, and that will help you, and it will tell you if your pattern calls for a 2x4, follow this one. Use this paper, or sorry, 2x2. So we do have that, so I would start there.
Last question about Starbucks here. A lot of people are asking, how do you get black tea without adding water to it?
Okay, so that is something that somebody who works here, Cody, taught me. She said, just next time you go get tea, ask for no water. And I said, it doesn't make sense. But it does if you watch them. So when you go to get tea, they will put tea, and then they will put water. So it waters it down so it's not as strong. Yeah. And so it's like, I don't know, Gabriel works at Starbucks, so he could answer, but it's like a conversion, like so much tea to so much water. But I like my tea super strong, and I drink so much tea, guys, that if I don't have a tea within like 4 or 5 hours of each other, I'll start getting a headache. I mean, it's really bad. I need to get off caffeine, but I'm not. Because when we went to the dietitian, the lady was like, okay, everybody needs to get off caffeine. I was like, that's great. Everyone in this family can get off caffeine, but I'm not. I was like, y'all can, but I'm not. And they were like, that's not fair. And I was like, well, I do pay the bills, so.
That's funny. But yeah, so I think the tea is like concentrated.
Yeah, it's just very strong.
Okay. And then we have a couple new YouTube members. We had Jennifer Bonning. Let me know if I pronounced that right or wrong. Welcome, Jennifer.
Thank you.
And then we have another new YouTube member, Karen Duggan. Welcome, Karen. Yay.
Thank you.
And then we did get a super chat from Gabriel here, Gabriel Fuentes, for $1.99. And he says, just get an extra cup ice on the side.
Thanks. You know, I do that if they don't give me enough ice sometimes. I just really feel bad asking. Because to me, it's like, it's just a tea. I don't have to be so picky, but I'm so picky about my tea, I think I'm ridiculous. But it's just the one thing. I think it's like my one escape right now, especially. It's just like, can I just have my tea? So, okay, so I'm going to show you a couple of other things. We're already at the hour limit, so I'm going to just show you a couple more things. So, this week we started our Jolly Bar row along, and so it is going to make this quilt. And you need the Jolly Bar book to do it. And I'm going to show you the quilts I made, and I made it a really, really long time ago. So this week we did the top row and the bottom row.
Yes, we did top row and bottom row.
Sorry, I couldn't. And then my backing, this is how I did my backing.
Ooh.
With my name in the center. So here, I'll show you. Here, to the upper camera. So on this quilt, you actually do not have very much left over from your Jolly Bar. So I took these left over from corner squares when I did, right here. When I did the spool blocks, when I cut that off of the edge, I saved those pieces and turned them into hourglass and trimmed them down and used this as the row because you don't have a lot of scraps left over. So that's what I did for my backing. So that is going on. That started this week. And then I'm just going to show you some blocks from other people. So these are, I'm going to do them on the table. How about that?
There we go.
So this is Harvest Road. And Carrie made these.
Ooh.
This is by Layla Boutique.
Yeah.
It's pretty, right? I love this collection. It goes really good with Folktail also.
Those are very pretty. Oh my god.
Yeah, very pretty. So that is, let me move this off and that'll make it easier. No, okay, the next one I'll show prettier, sorry. So that's one option. And we show you all of this so that you can kind of just see what's available out there and what kind of look you're going for. This one is Catalina, and Nancy made this one. And you can see on hers, she did all different fabrics, where Carrie did duplicates of fabrics. So you can kind of play and see what you like best. And so on Carrie's, her top row and bottom row probably match. And so what Nancy did is she did 2 aqua, 2 yellow, 2 navy, 2 red, 2 green, 2 light blue with Catalina by Fig Tree. And then this one is Terry's, and this is Harper's Garden. And this is one of her rows. And this is, the SKU is 9900-131, and it's a Bella solid. So hers is going to be fun and bright. And when you download, you can download this, and this tells you how many blocks you're going to make, what page number to go to, the size, and then what to cut. And of course it doesn't have the sizes to cut because you refer to the book, but this is how you're going to follow along each week. So we have that. If you'll have any questions on the Jolly Bar row along, let me know. A Jolly Bar is a 5 by 10 inch cut of fabric, and it's called Jolly Bar because my last name is Jolly.
Yay. We had a question from Sherry Wallen. Is it possible to use the flying geese method that you just showed on the Sparrow Tracks blocks in the Jolly Bar row along?
You cannot, because the Jolly Bar is not big enough.
Oh.
So you have to have those big squares to start with. So what you would do at that point is you would look at your instructions from your ruler, which I don't have right in front of me, and you look and see, and if it fits, you can do it. If it doesn't, you don't. You can't. So I'm going to show you one other thing before a couple other things, but this one, I'm just going to show you, I've already kind of showed you these. This is our Jelly Snowflake. I'm just going to show you this one today. This one is every Thursday of the week of the month of July, we're going to be showing a section. So this is the first section. This first video is out. It's a completely free pattern. You can use any jelly roll, and we encourage you to use your stash. And so this is how it's going to be laid out, and you can download this for free. And then I have 2 more things to show you. So this is a video that we released earlier this week. It is called 4th of July Quilt As You Go Mini. It's not a pattern, but it's a video tutorial because it works much better as a video tutorial rather than a paper pattern. And this would be great if you wanted to make something for July 4th. So you quilt as you go. So you can see there's no quilting on the top because you have quilted it as you sewed. So that's new.
Yeah, Catherine Bryan actually says that she did this mini flag quilt yesterday, and it was so fun and easy. It's her first quilt as you go. Thank you, Kimberly.
Thank you. Yeah, it's fun. And I like that this one is achievable. Sometimes the quilt as you go can be hard, and it ends up 13 by 22.
Yeah.
The quilt behind me is also a free pattern. This is the free pattern you can download from Fat Quarter Shop. It is Quilts of Valor appropriate. So if you are looking to donate to Quilts of Valor, you can make this quilt and send it into Quilts of Valor, and it fits their guidelines. So Quilts of Valor, you should look it up. It's a great program. They give quilts to veterans, and they have certain size requirements so that the quilts will be appropriate if somebody is in a wheelchair. And it's so this one finishes 63 by 84. So we have that. And then the last thing to show you today is we got the brand new Prim Aurifil 50 weight box in.
Ooh.
It's, oh, sorry. It's so pretty. So I'm taking this one home today. I love it. So that's what I have for you guys this week. I am happy to answer any questions, and so sorry that it took longer than an hour. I just had a lot of stuff. Next week, I am going to be showing you the Stitchery Sampler quilt that Joanna Figueroa designed, and we're going to be doing a sew along with it, but I'm borrowing her quilt, and I'm going to show you that next week and kind of talk about all the different things with it.
I just want to give a quick shout out to Merlene Manley. She very kindly sent us this. It's back there. It's since we always use confetti cannons on here, she saw this at Hobby Lobby. It says "Cue the confetti," and it's amazing. I love it.
So we're gonna try to have it on this set.
Yeah.
Because then it goes with Lily's confetti.
Yeah, it's part of our Fat Quarter Shop live stream. Goodness, we love it. Okay, so question from Teresa: is there a way I could buy a block of the month for a friend?
Yes. So when you sign up, you would just put bill to you and then ship to your friend. And then whatever email address you put in is what's going to get the shipping notification. So if you want the shipping notification, that would be the email, etc. If you want her to have it, you would put her email in.
Okay. From Sharon Berkemeyer, how big is that Jolly Bar quilt?
Can you scroll back up? I don't know. Let me see. Yes, I do. 51 by 56.
Yay.
Yay!
And then from Sue Cleek, does this year's designer mystery come in a nice box?
The finishing does, and it will ship with month 2.
Okay.
We are working on designing 2021s right now. We, meaning Jocelyn, not me. I've designed a couple of them, but Jocelyn does most of them.
From Amanda Edens, will there be videos for Stitchery Sampler?
No. Now, you know, it's Joanna's pattern, so she might have some stuff. I don't think she's planning on a video. And a lot of times we will have guests come in and do a bunch of videos for us. And obviously right now, there's no, like, I haven't seen a sales rep since March. So we have a no visitor policy. So it applies to that too.
Yeah. From Amy Cowan Walden, how does a sew along work?
So a sew along works where we break it up for you into different sections each week. You can obviously follow that or do it however you want, but we release different sections each week. And the reason that sew alongs are popular and the reason that I like them is it gives you a little bit to do each week. So a little bit to look forward to, and then you can take a break before the next week. And it's just a little bit. So if you get behind, you can catch up the next week. And it just kind of breaks the quilt up for you so that you actually finish. Because a lot of times we start and we don't finish, so it kind of sets goals for you.
Also, lots of people are wondering if you have found your fabric yet.
I have not found my fabric. I have no idea where it is. I keep looking around this room thinking I brought it here, but I don't know where it is.
Yeah.
And I sewed all day Tuesday, and last night I was sewing. I did a little bit of sewing last night, and I have not found it.
Okay. Priscilla Martin says the Prim box you just showed is not the one she got in her Prim kit. Does she need to get this box as well?
No. So the Prim Aura Floss box is for cross stitch. This is 50 weight, which is for quilting. and piecing and applique.
Okay. And then a few food comments questions here from Diana G. Quick question. Since you're a super taster, do you like cilantro?
No, I hate it.
Ooh.
Like if it's on, or pico de gallo, like if it's on my food, and also like spicy stuff, jalapenos, I can't. So the other day we went to the pool, and our pool has where you can order food. And so they just have like a couple of options, right? Like hot dog, hamburger, tacos, because it's just, whatever, it's just the pool. So I got the tacos because I thought, well, I don't want a hamburger and I don't want a hot dog. And I only ate one of them, and my mouth was burning the rest of the day. Oh, wow. And I was like, Kevin, do you want the other one? Because it had cilantro in it.
Yeah. And then the other one was a very interesting fact from Cindy Griggs Ecker. She says, Kimberly, my massage therapist said that honey will make you fatter when put in a cold drink, but it will help with weight loss when you use it in a hot drink. I noticed this myself. Also really enjoy your program. Have a wonderful 4th.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. It's a very interesting fact.
Yes.
Okay. From Charlotte Walker, she says, how do you use specialized thread packs if you are always using Aurifil 2021?
So I will use this on, okay, so let's be honest. I love Lori, and I keep all of the things she's done. So if you go into my stash, I have all of Lori's things. So I keep it because I like it because it's Lori's. But I would use this if I was appliquing. Or I would just, honestly, I'm going to put it in my sewing room, and I'm probably going to like put it like this on a counter, and it's not going to be used, but I'm going to look at it.
From Jane Bromley, will you be carrying the Clover Wonder Pins?
Yes. Okay,
Ooh.
Let's talk about those Wonder Pins. Ooh. Okay, so the Clover Wonder Pins were announced last week. I ordered a lot. They're shipping next week. They're coming in packs of 20, and they will be used for, you can use them for basting your quilts mainly. And a couple of you have asked me if they're going to make bigger packs, like a 50. So I emailed the people we buy it from to pass it on to the company, and she said so many people have already asked for it. They already know, so Clover already knows. So I hope they make bigger packs, but that has definitely been passed on to the manufacturer. I have not personally tested those. Usually that would have been something that at Quilt Market we would have been able to see and test, and at least I would be able to know a little bit about it, but I haven't gotten a prototype or anything. But I don't know that I would use them because I don't ever baste, but I've gotten so many wonderful responses, so that's super exciting for Clover that they've come out with a product that people are really looking forward to.
Okay, and then we had a new YouTube member, Teresa R. Higashi. Welcome, Teresa.
Thank you.
Yay, cue the confetti. And then we had a super chat from 07 M. Martinez for $1.99, and they say, Kim and Lily make my day. Aww,
thank you.
Thank you. And they say thank you as well. Oh, that's so sweet.
So guys, have a great July 4th. Be safe, social distance, and I will see you guys next week.
All right, bye everyone.